The Samsung S26 Ultra is the most conflicted I have ever felt about a phone. It feels like a breaking point. Because on one hand, I'm peed off. They've not changed the cameras again. They've not changed the battery again. In fact, do you want to know one of the best things about this phone? It's the fact that it's made of aluminium again after just a 2-year detour as titanium. Samsung is just making
This thing's not completely knackered because I've already lost count of the number of times I've dropped this thing onto a hard floor or table or desk or whatever. And that is partially because I like the occasional shandy or two. I'm not completely blame this.
Spicing things up today, just because I want to, the teardown is happening first. There's a few things Samsung conveniently left out of their Unpacked event when bragging about the new S26 Ultra. And these things need to be exposed to the world. They focus so
New of a design, they just made the phone a little thinner, a little lighter, and a little rounder at the corners to make it look like the rest of the flagship phones that they make. But even that comes with downsides. Like, since the corners are more round, that means the part where the S Pen goes into the phone is
lighting conditions. Now, the colors this year matches with the regular S26 lineup. This one that I have is the cobalt violet. It has grown on me a lot. It's like a silvery purple color, but I think the best color might still be the light blue one. There are two exclusive colors.
is a trade-off. And this new display is maybe one of the most interesting case studies in that in a long time. So on paper, you know, it's a lot of the same numbers as last year, right? It's a 6.9-inch big OLED display, 1440p resolution, 1 to 120 hertz, etc. But they've added this one massive new feature, the privacy display.
Just when you're entering passwords or pins. And because it's being controlled on an individual pixel level, you can even have this privacy only apply to sections of the screen. Like if you just wanted to hide the notifications that pop up when people message you. So this is useful, right? This almost feels
Like this one that does that through polarization. But unlike that screen protector, this actually blocks all viewing angles, horizontal or vertical off-axis. But also, because it's built into the display, you can turn it on for just the pixels you want to when you...
Is the S26 Ultra ruined by the new privacy display? Because even with it off, the screen still looks worse than the S25 Ultra, and it's more reflective too. To get to the bottom of this, we gotta take a closer look, really close. So these are the privacy pixels, and when I turn privacy mode off,
when it comes to the PWM dimming as well, it's basic and best here on the S26 Ultra. So if you are quite sensitive to OLED flicker, you might want to look elsewhere. But the big hardware upgrade for the Galaxy S26 Ultra is certainly that privacy display. And this is actually a hardware feature which can deactivate certain...
You can also have the privacy filter apply to only part of the screen, so I also keep it on for my notifications. Now, normally to toggle on the privacy display, you have to go into the quick settings. However, you can actually now set up double pressing the side button to...
But now that also means you just turned off half the pixels. So your resolution is actually quite literally cut in half. And you can actually see it. Like there's blockier edges around text and smaller details and fine contrast. Here, I literally bought a micro, and it also turns out it's still an 8-bit display simulating 10-bit color instead of a full native 10-bit display like so many others have added. But I think that Samsung knows that most people are not pixel peepers. Like even on this display, this is a 1440p screen.
I'm bummed that in the process of implementing privacy display, Samsung has reduced the effectiveness of their anti-reflective coating. They took the best, most unique thing about Samsung phones' displays and silently nerfed it to make room for this feature that I would argue is going to be useful to fewer people.
Both cameras are still 50 megapixels, and both cameras are 5x optical zooms, with stabilization. The difference between the two is how much light can reach the sensor at the end of the lens. And that is where Samsung has given us a mind-blowing 37...
So framing mode now captures in 4K instead of 1080p, how they've swapped the lenses to reduce lens flares from bright sources, and how this is the first Samsung phone to support APV, which is a new type of very high-quality video format whose unique perk
horizontal lock, which, as the name suggests, literally locks in the horizon. So normally when you tilt your phone in video mode, it looks like this. The camera just mirrors the scene, but if you turn horizontal lock on, now when you turn it, it literally locks the...
Thanks to its ridiculously slick horizontal lock feature, Certainly some of the best stabilization I've seen on any smartphone. That's great for all the rest of your home movie shenanigans as well, and at night time, the S26 Ultra's video boost feature
ultra steady mode. So in any situation that you would have already used the ultra steady, this just makes it better. And besides this new stabilization, there's some other pretty cool software features of the camera too. My favorite new thing is the LUT preview for Pro.
Samsung seems to be much more focused on NPU, which is around the AI generating features on the phone, which we'll get to in a second. We'll get there. But yeah, the performance is generally, it's great. It's almost a formality at this point. Hey, are animations smooth? Yup. Can it handle heavy multitasking and gaming?
Thanks to a more efficient chip and a more efficient display. It beat out last year's Samsung, it beat out the iPhone, it beat out Xiaomi's top-end device, while being one of the coolest phones in the thermal testing. I mean, the charging speed is catching up, now at up to 60 watts of power.
Plus plenty of background use with the likes of Spotify. I did all my daily shenanigans on Wuthering Waves. I must have spent about an hour video and voice chatting on WhatsApp, plenty of tele-streaming and the rest, and I finished with just under 10% battery life remaining.
And other phones at 4.5 watts, which is the exact same as last year. You can't do a whole lot with 4.5 watts though. Even OnePlus, may they rest in peace, had 10-watt reverse wireless charging.
Magnetic wireless charging. Meaning if you try to use something like a magnetic power bank, it's still gonna fall off, and so you're still gonna need a case with built-in magnets if you want to use any type of magnetic accessories. And there's a lot. So I mean, the battery updates overall, not.
As far as the software goes, well, One UI has improved slightly over previous generations, but it's still very much what you've come to expect. So an awful lot of Samsung duplicating stuff that Android already does. You've got a couple of calendars, a couple of wallets, a couple app stores, yada yada yada, and of course Samsung, as ever, is
What I'm invited to. Look, the way I see it, there are two kinds of smartphone AI tools. One is AI that makes what you already do quicker, easier, better. Things like the automatic translation of incoming messages. Things like where, meaning that this just launched Samsung feature, specifically made for this Samsung phone, doesn't generate images in the right aspect ratio or resolution for this Samsung screen. How sloppy is that? This ability to make invitations. I've tried it again and again. I remember last year, Bixby got better at being able to understand what you were trying to change and take you to just the right place in your settings to be able to do that. This time, it can generate those settings right in front of you, including all the toggles that you might need to fiddle with to fix your issue, without even needing
of what you're searching. You just pick the price suggestion and boom, it'll instantly show you what it costs. So useful. For the third feature, I know a lot of you guys are gonna love this one. The camera has always allowed you to scan documents right, but now it'll automatically fix
is why are we getting what feels like a software update instead of better hardware? Why didn't they improve the signal quality to keep up with the latest iPhones? I'm on literally 0 bars right now. Are they not seeing all these other companies running circles around their cameras? This is always with you because you can't forget it. That's always charged and always ready to write. I think it's simple. Samsung has the most complete hardware and software experience that you can find on Android. They give you 7 years of software updates versus 4 to 5 on most others.
Just means the price of entry is higher. It's now $900 baseline. You can get a lot more phone for $900, but Samsung doesn't really seem to care. Just wanted to put that out there while I had you. You'd probably have to vote with your wallets to get Samsung to actually do anything. You know, this S26 Ultra is...
So if I want to maximize for any one thing in particular, then there will always be a better choice than this. But assuming I fall into the main bucket of people who aren't leaning in any particular direction, then maybe it is quite nice to have a phone that occupies that safe choice medium. Yes, although I will stand firm. And it kind of is in the UK because we don't actually get to the feature yet. But seeing the state of now nudge, I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. So that's the S26 Ultra. I am starting my thorough testing as we speak, but first impressions?
Happen slowly. I'm curious though, do you think these upgrades are worth $1,300? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, I'll keep you updated on when true hardware innovation happens. So make sure you're subscribed. And look at that, everything still works.